Hello friends, this is Ganesh and video number 5. So in this video, I'm going to explain about Watchpoint, Conditional Breakpoint, and how to create a test data for a function module from the debugging mode. So here Watchpoint, I'm going to explain with a very basic custom program. So once you have an idea and whenever we go with the standard program, I will explain the same concept for a standard screen input field or standard variable, standard program variable. And conditional breakpoint we already have seen, but we have seen only for the variable level. And today I'm going to show the same for my internal table as well. Okay, and test data and function model is nothing but I want to create a test directory or test data for a function module from my debugging mode. So that is the idea of today's video. So let me get into my system directly, and I have a program which I have created already with a simple custom program which has one variable. It's called LV number, and there is a body of an internal table, and I kept some static breakpoint. So the idea of watch point is, it's in the name itself you can able to guess. So watch is nothing but it's going to monitor your medium. So medium I have already explained in the previous video. Medium is nothing but there is a play, it's kind of a placeholder. It can hold a value, it can hold a record, it can hold more than one record. Okay, so it's many records. So it's like a variable, field symbols, work area, header line, constant variable, or an internal table. So these are kind of medium. So the watch point is going to monitor the each medium. You have an option to set a watch point for a particular medium. For example, I'm going to set a medium, sorry, I'm going to set a watch point for this medium variable, and for this medium body of an internal table. So it's going to keep on monitor the medium whenever the particular medium is getting changed. So change is nothing but it can be initialized, it can be deleted, it can be modified. So all these are coming under monitor process. Okay, so whatever is happening, whether it's insert a new value, change the existing value, or delete the existing value, so anything has happened for the particular medium, then the cursor going and stops in the next executable line. So that is called watch point. It's not a breakpoint kind of. Breakpoint is nothing but you have an idea where to stop, exactly where to stop. But watch point is based on the changing or modifying the content of the particular medium, then it stops. For example, I have a very big standard program. I want to know where the net value is getting changed. So that is very difficult to identify where and all the net price variable is used, or where and all the net price variable is getting changed. So for that kind of scenario, we can create a watch point. So it's automatically monitor the throughout the program, or how many lines or how many function, it doesn't matter. Throughout the program, it's keep on watching the particular medium or particular variable. Whenever there is a change happen, immediately it stops over there. Okay, it's go and stops in the particular program and shows watch point reached and what is the medium, what is the name of the watch point. Okay, so that is the idea of watch point. I will show you in the simple program. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a watch point for my variable called LV number. So here there are three places the values is getting initialized, deleted, and again getting added to the particular variable. So line number 12, so it's got initialized the first value. Line number 17, it got cleared, and line number 21, again some values getting assigned. So if I create a watch point for LV number, it's going to stops three places. Okay, it will stop after the particular line is getting executed, because once it is executed, then only system recognize, okay, the value is getting changed, modified, or deleted. Okay, so the cursor is going to stop very next executable line of your medium or a variable where we created a watch point. And if you create a watch point for this internal table, so what happens, line number 14, yes, it gets the value is getting added, line number 14, and line number 17, it gets cleared, and line number 19, again some values are added to the internal table. So three places. If you create a watch point for internal table, this also three places it's getting changed. Okay, suppose if I use modify over here, so modify itvbak from w underscore vbak. Okay, so index site tab index. So you just kind of recollect why we use site tab index, because we are inside the loop. Okay. So what happens if I use to modify every line? So looper, suppose this has almost 32,000 lines. Every line it goes and stops line number 26. I'm not going to set any breakpoint, but I'm going to create a watch point for this internal table. It going to stops each line is going to getting modified here. Okay, so all the 32 lines is going to getting modified. So you have to careful while creating a watch point as well. So let me create a watch point for this LV number. Then I will show you about itab temp with watch point. Then we see with watch point with the conditions. We can go with the conditions as well. So now I have a static breakpoint in line number 10. So let me execute this. If I execute, it will go and stops line number 10. And let me open LV number and show you what is the value initially it's getting 0 because the data type of this variable is integer. Okay, and next what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a watch point. You can't create a watch point from your programmer outside of the debugging mode. That is not possible. So you have to create a watch point only whenever you are inside the debugging mode. So just copy this and go to watch point. By default, whatever you copied is transferred to the watch point pop-up box. So that is one good thing. So variable, which variable you want to create a watch point? Yeah, I want to create a LV number only. So here it's only for local variables, like all module injection or only current mode module instance. So always go with the all modules. So wherever that's getting changed, yes, it'll trigger. For example, the same variable is you passing to the inside the function module. If you select the second one, it won't trigger inside the function module. If you say all modules, whenever there is a change with a different name also, it will go and stops. This I will show you in the standard program debugging. So go to continue. So it shows watch point created. Let me minimize my screen. Then you can able to see, yes, watch point created. So execute, sorry, maximize. Now I'm going to do the full execution. So line number 12, it's got changed. So 10, it shows watch point created. So one more time. Yeah, here watch point created, and what is a watch point? Because we can create multiple watch points, right? So it shows which watch point it triggered, actually it reached. Okay, so currently we have one, but in future if we create more than one, it shows the watch point, the variable name also, which variable is getting changed. And now I'm going to do a full execution, and here it's gets triggered on line number 17. It's triggered, it's 0, it cleared. Okay, because it's clear LV number, it's cleared already, so that's why it's reached over here. Okay, let me, yeah, so LV number is 0. Now I'm going to execute one more time F8, and after 21st line, yes, 21st line, the value is getting added to the variable 90, so it's triggered. So three different places the watch point is getting triggered. Okay, so I will show you the same for internal table. So here full execution, and these are static breakpoints, that's why it comes and stops, don't worry about it. Now I'm going to do full execution again, execute. I'm going to create a watch point for my internal table this time. So IT temp, currently IT temp as value is 0, means records 0. So let me copy this, go to watch point, create watch point. There is a button. So IT temp, what do I copied, automatically transferred here. One additional point, better you use, if you use the body of an internal table, better you use this two brackets, because in some existing program or a standard program, the header and the body of the internal table might be the same name. So if you create just IT underscore temp, it by default it takes a header line. So it won't stops whenever the body is getting changed. So if they have any confusion, if it is a program is created by you, you're damn sure it's a body of an internal table, it's not a header line. So you don't want to use the bracket. But in sometimes better, even in a standard programs also, you can use a brackets just for a safer side. And just click continue. So now I'm going to execute full execution, and the 14th line it's getting some values. So line number 14 is getting almost 32,000 lines, and Next I'm going to execute one more time, full execution. It's execute. Okay, I think it's not executing the breakpoints. Let me check. Oh, sorry. There is a mistake in the name. Okay, I have to create it for ITVBAK. Sorry for that. So execute one more time, and one second. Once it comes, yes. So I have to copy this ITVBAK. Okay, sorry. I just double click ITVBAK, copy here, and go to create watchpoint ITVBAK and bracket. So in this program is not required, but so safer side. So ITVBAK is created a watchpoint, and full execution go with F8. It comes on stops the line number 15. Yes, because it's added some data, and full execution it shows again it's cleared. VBAK is cleared line number 17, so it stops. And one more time, full execution. So in 19th line, I'm transferring some data to VBAK. Again, it stops in the very next executable line because it's added the values over here. So this is a way to use the watchpoint. Watchpoint is very useful once you go with any existing custom program or a standard program debugging. Okay, I'll show the same in the standard program as well. So now I'm going to show you how to create. Okay, before that, I'm going to create one. I'm going to execute one more time. F8. So yeah, F8. It stops here 28 because I told you, right? So it's getting executed in modify as well. Okay, if I full execution one more time execution, it's keep on showing. Okay, let me minimize. Yeah, if I execute, so for every line it shows watch point reached, watch point reached, watch point reached. Okay, because it's inside the loop, right? So every modification it shows watch points reached. And how to delete this or how to deactivate this, I hope I already shown in the conditional breakpoint option. Go to the tab called break or watch points. You're able to see there is a tab over here. So go here, because you can't do a full execution. It keep on execute until it reaches the 32 or full 30,000 records. Either you got to restart your debugging session or you got to kill your debugging session. Another option is you can create, or sorry, you can delete or deactivate your watch points. So go to watch point, you can select it. I want to delete it, so delete the watch point. Okay, and go here, go to desktop 3. Now you can say execute, full execute. Yes, it's just come out of it. There is a static breakpoint. It goes and reaches the second next static breakpoint if there is any. And how to restart? Suppose you want to restart any debugging session, you can say debug restart. Okay, meaning it won't continue further. It will just restart from there. It will restart your entire transaction. Okay, for example, I'm middle of in the sales order creation, and I can say I want to restart. It won't create the sales order, but the number is already picked. It won't be back to the number range, but the number is picked, but it won't create in the database label. So you can do a restart. So it just restart the entire transaction. It goes in the SE38 now. So now I'm going to create one more conditional breakpoint. Okay, sorry, conditional watch point. So now my idea is I don't want to create a watch point for all the values 10, 19 and everything. I want to create a watch point whenever the value of this variable is getting changed by 90. I know the value. For example, take the same standard transaction. I want to know when the net price is getting reached by 110. Okay, I don't want to create a full watch point, maybe because it's used in many places. It's keep on stopping my transaction in debugging mode. So instead of that, I can say I want to know the net value is coming to reach the value 110. So what you can do is create a watch point. So just copy this, create watch point for this variable, and there is a free condition. So LV number is equal to 90. Okay, single quotes, continue. So it gives the same message for you, watch point created. Now if I execute, what happens? It won't stop because of line number 12. because of line number 17, but it stopped because of line number 21 because I have created a conditional watch point. Okay, I'm going to give full execution here. Now it stops line number 23 only because now the condition is satisfied for the watch point. Now it stopped. Okay, so this is a way you can write some conditions for your watch point variable. That is one good point in the watch point. So hope you are good enough with this for the watch point. So keep this in your mind. Same thing I will explain in the standard transaction. So how to keep a watch point for a standard in screen values, and how we can identify where exactly the value is getting changed. Okay, and the next one is conditional breakpoint. I already showed what is a conditional breakpoint. So the same like normal breakpoint, I need to give some condition. This condition breakpoint is especially used in a loop, generally in a do statement or in a loop statement, because loop has 100 times or 500 uh, records. So I don't want to go line by line. Okay, I want to stop, I know the value, so I want to stop the iteration 50, iteration 92. So the same way I'm going to stop for the sales order, particular sales order number. I have 100 sales order. I want to stop the sales order number is 1922, for example. Okay, so only if the particular sales order is coming inside the loop stops. Okay, so that is actually a conditional breakpoint. I have showed you the same conditional breakpoint with the variables and with the do and undo loop. Now I'm going to show you the same with internal table. So now my idea is I have an internal table. Let me go to this particular line. So now you have idea about go to statement. What is the difference between go to and continue? Now I have to use go to or continue. Maybe you can just check your learnings, how you learned. So I had to go to continue to cursor because I want to execute in between lines as well. So go to statement, it won't execute. So I kept the cursor at 23. I'm going to say continue to cursor. So it goes to reach line number 23 with the execution of internal table it underscore VBAP. The select is getting executed. So now what I'm going to do is I have 32,000 records. So I'm going to create a breakpoint where my sales order is this one. So 21st line. So anything, just an example I'm taking, 21st line. So I don't want to execute 20 times. I know anyway I want to start my debugging from the sales order. So why don't I want to do it? Okay. So what I'm going to do is let keep a breakpoint inside the loop. Okay, allow the system to, means allow the cursor to get into the loop. Now go to breakpoint or watch point tab, and there is a breakpoint creator inside the loop. Make sure you are which breakpoint you're creating, conditional breakpoint, that is very important inside the loop. Suppose because in a standard program you have multiple breakpoints are available, so make sure which breakpoint currently you are in. That's why I'm saying once the cursor comes inside the loop, start creating the conditional for it. So now just click this. Okay, and this VBAK, this is a work area, right? So VBAK WebLN is equal to this sales order number, and I can say or I can say and, whatever it is, you can say and then or whatever it is, and VB 1 2 3 VBAK VB type is equal to C. Okay, so there's a condition for a breakpoint. Only this satisfies, then the cursor should stops. Otherwise, it won't. Okay, now I'm going here. You can see tabix is going to use because we are in a loop. We are not in a do. It has a record. So if I execute, it should stop line number. Okay, I forgot the index. Probably it's 21. Okay, it stops line number 21. So I'm going to do the full execution over here because anyway I have a conditional breakpoint. Execute. So now line number site is 21. Clear? You can see the value as well. So like VB, it's there, WebLAN and VB type. Okay, it's 8441 and VB type is C. So this is the use of conditional breakpoint. Okay, so conditional breakpoint used in normal do and undo, and it's used for loop and end loop as well. Okay, so this is the way which used. If I execute, it won't stop because it has only one unique sales order, so it comes to the next breakpoint. Clear? And the next concept is how to create a test data, or how to transfer the test data which we are seeing in a debugging mode to the function module. This is very helpful because sometimes function module needs lot of inputs to test. Okay, so that is very difficult to provide each value in the function module. So for that, what you can do is we can have a debugging mode, and once the cursor comes to the inside the function module, you can save it. For example, I will show you a function module which is used in the sales order change transaction VA02. Okay, so I want to create a test variant for that particular function module. So the function module is this is for example because I want to show you with most of the data for the function module. That's why I chosen this function module. So this is one of the function module which is used inside the VE02 transaction. So for this, I want to create a test directory. For example, if you go to execute this transaction, so a lot of information is to be passed in the header, in the item VBUP and VBAP informations. I have to pass many things. I'm not sure what is the actual data to be passed. So for this, I can create a breakpoint inside this function module. Okay, and then I can save the VA02. So once the control comes, I can create at least sample test data. So I can change it afterwards based on my business requirement. At least I need some sample test data to execute a standard or custom function module. Okay. Now I'm not going to keep a breakpoint over here, because if I keep, once I get into VA0 also, it executed. I don't want it. I want to execute this function model only at the time of save. So let me get into the VA02. So this is my sales order. Let me change the value as 9. Okay, enter. So I'll give some warning message. Let's keep press enter. Okay, now I'm going to keep a breakpoint inside the function module. And what kind of breakpoint you have to set? You have to create an external breakpoint, because this function module is going to call from another transaction. So not directly this is going to call. This is going to be called. So in that case, you have to use only the external breakpoint, not the session one. Okay. So just keep the cursor anywhere you can keep the breakpoint. Okay, I'm just keeping the first executable statement because these are declaration statements. We don't execute. So I'm going to keep the cursor at the first executable statement in the function, inside the function module. Make sure it's inside the function module. Now I'm going to VA02 and click save. So it shows ABAP debugger is starting. I'm not sure it's visible. Yes, it comes here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to the tool over here. Let me close the stack. Okay, I'm going to use the tool. Okay, service tool. Just click. You have an option called save parameters as test data. Okay, SC37 is a transaction. So just double click and create a variant, test data from debugging. Okay, anything, whatever you want, based on your business requirement, your user ID, whatever it is, you can create some name for your test data and continue. Okay, just continue it. So that's it. I don't want to do anything in that. So even if you don't want to come out of it, now go to the SE37 function builder and execute it, and click the test data directory button. It shows whatever I have created, the same name, it's created in the function module. Just double click. So it's created with all the information. So whatever is copied in the particular line where I kept the function breakpoint, in that place, whatever is filled for the function module, it just created the test data. So this is for header. It's created everything. It's created the data based on my sales order 4724, and it's added an entry in this VBUP internal table, and here also it just added the values for this internal table. Okay, so this is one beautiful thing about the debugging. So how to add the test data or create a test data to your any function model. It can be a custom or it can be a standard function module. Okay, so you forgot about this Debugging mode, you just execute it, just come out of it, that's it. Okay, so it's second time is triggering. So we're not sure, right? It can create, it can be triggered a number of times, depends on the how they designed. And so it's keep on triggering, triggering, triggering. So what you can do, just click, it just take out the breakpoint, and again click full execution. So it shows standard order 4724 is getting saved. So I just changed from 8 to 9. Yes, it's got updated the value. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. We'll see about more stuffs with another video. Thank you. Bye.